Get to know the candidates running for Midland County Judge. You're watching The Debate, live from the Anwar Family Studio at Basin PBS, moderated by Pat Canty and Becky Ferguson, made possible with support from Diamondback Energy.
And welcome to Basin PBS, where we're coming to you live from the Anwar Family Studio. Tonight's program was brought to you by Diamondback Energy. I'm Pat Canty. On behalf of Basin PBS, thank you for joining us tonight. We're honored to host the Midland County Judge Debate. Now, Basin PBS is known for its quality programming, where we provide not only education, but also entertainment as well. Now, tonight's program is a culmination of our mission to educate and inform. We're thrilled to have a studio audience with us tonight, and also all of you, our Basin PBS supporters, watching at home on channels 13 or 36, or live on our Facebook page or YouTube channel. Joining me tonight at the moderator's desk is Becky Ferguson, host of Basin PBS's One Question with Becky Ferguson. Now, tonight's debate will be 60 minutes in length with a 2-minute break. Our questions were developed by our team of moderators, a small representation from the community, and our Facebook page, where our community will be given the opportunity to submit questions. We will do everything we can to ask those questions during tonight's program. We have asked our candidates to visit Basin PBS social media page after tonight's program to answer as many questions as they can. Now, on to the rules. The debate will begin with each candidate in the order of how they are listed on the ballot, 2 minutes for their opening remarks. After these opening remarks, the moderators shall pose a series of general questions. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond to each question. Now, in the event a candidate's name is answered or brought up regarding their stance on a policy position or something that they've said, at the sole discretion of the moderator, that candidate will be given 30 seconds to respond. It is important to note an individual candidate may also be asked a direct question because of a statement or policy position that he or she has made during their campaign. The candidate will have 1 minute to answer that direct question. The 30-second rebuttal rule shall still apply. Now, at the conclusion of the questions, each candidate will be given 2 minutes, time permitting. Maybe there will only be 1 minute for closing statements. You do not have to use all of your time, but we encourage you to do so because this is your time to let your constituents know your stance on the policies. Now, this will be a live broadcast, so flash photography, making loud noises, or other disruptive actions or comments are not permitted. We have also asked the candidates to not bring any electronic devices to the podium, as we have found them to be a distraction for other candidates, the moderators, and the studio audience. Now, let's get started and meet the candidates for Midland County Judge. First, we have Mr. Jay Marquez. Next is Mrs. Karen Hood. And finally, Mr. Terry Johnson. We'll now begin with opening statements. I'd like to remind the candidates that each will have 2 minutes. Mr. Marquez, your opening statement.
Thank you for hosting this first and foremost. And I am Jay Marquez. I am truly grateful for your time and the opportunity to share my heart, my vision as your next Midland County Judge. First, I will always thank my bride, Marie, of almost 33 years, and dated for about 2.5 years long distance. So as I've always said, I know about perseverance and what it takes to win. My family support, always unwavering. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Midland knows me, Maria and I, for building Team Flow, Faithful Leaders of the Word, a youth ministry 25 years ago, which has served thousands of students who now lead and serve in our community. At 9 years of age, I was pushing a lawnmower. At 15, I was making schedules and budgets at First Grocery Store. For men and women, 3 times my age. From mowing grocery store, building a service company, owning a restaurant, building an oil and gas and real estate company, my vast experience has led me to use my leadership skills and business acumen in working with and leading people. I'm running because I love Midland. I grew up here. I raised my family here. I built my career here. I worship here. Like you, I want Midland County to remain a place where our children are safe, our values are respected, and hard work is rewarded. God's plan for me is Midland. Midland has shaped me into the man I am today. I believe leadership begins with character, and character is built on faith, integrity, and trust. My faith is the bedrock of my life. It guides how I serve, how I lead, and how I make decisions. I believe in strong families, personal responsibility, and a government that works for the people, not the other way around. As county judge, the role is not to rule, but to lead. The judge works alongside the commissioner's court to set priorities, shape the budget, and ensure county government runs efficiently and responsibly. That teamwork matters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hood, your opening statement.
Thank you. And I reiterate, thank you all very much for having us here tonight, and the audience for being here and caring about Midland and what's going on. And hopefully we'll provide some answers. As I said, my name is Karen Hood, and I'm running for Midland County Judge. I have been in Midland nearly 50 years. I've raised my family here, done all the things you do with boys. I have 3 boys, and met a lot of really great people through that 50 years here in Midland. Some of you may remember me as your tax assessor, your former tax assessor collector for 10 years. There I was able to run a very efficient office to serve the citizens of Midland County. We focused on customer service, which for me is still a thing, and made aware to my clerks that we are paid by tax dollars, and we need to give that the honor that it is and do our jobs as we're supposed to. We also focused on leadership not only for myself, but for my office staff as well, because one thing you have to do is build those up that work underneath you to form a good team and to accomplish the things that you want to in your office. And I will bring those same leadership skills as being the Midland County Judge. I'm running because there are things that are happening that I question, and of course a lot of it has to do with money and taxes, and I'm very familiar with that process from being the tax assessor collector. I know what the tax rates, how they're calculated, because I did them. I know about the values, and thank you very much.
Thank you. And Mr. Johnson, your opening statement.
Okay. I'm Terry Johnson. I'm running for re-election to continue serving as your county judge. I want to thank PBS and Diamondback for doing this. You're both great assets to Midland and the Permian Basin. Last night I received a text from one of my opponents. One line caught my attention, and I think it was a great compliment. I'll take it that way anyway. It read, "Let's keep our county strong, safe, and thriving." Thank you, Jay. That was a compliment of what's going on. I'm proud of what we've created over the last 7 years, and I appreciate your support so we can continue to build on what we started. My hope tonight is that we can talk about what best serves the citizens of Midland County. Again, my name's Terry Johnson. It's an honor to be the 21st county judge of Midland. I was born and raised here. I am a 3rd generation. My family's born and raised here. For the last 50 years, I've signed my own paycheck, and by that I mean I've been on my own. I either failed or succeeded based on what I knew and what I was capable of doing and willing to do. So business is what I bring to this. And if you stop and think about it, Midland County is nothing but large business. We have 700 employees. We have a $250 million budget. It's business, folks. I get told when I first got here, you can't run it as a business. We're not in it to make a profit. And what I found out really quick was the folks that were telling me that didn't want to be accountable and didn't want to be transparent, and they wanted to be left alone in their little silos to do what they normally did. Well, those folks have been allowed to go find other employment opportunities. And we have brought in some outside professional private sector folks to take over those jobs, and we are moving down the road. I'm told many times, or asked many times, how do you run your business and do what you do here? I hire smart. I hire people smarter than me, and I'll cut them loose to do what they're good at. And that makes me look good. That same mentality applies to the management style I have at Midland County. So again, I ask you for your vote.
Thank you. We'll now begin with our first question. Water is a perpetual issue in Midland County and has become a particularly prominent issue related to the Greenwood area. What responsibility does the county have to provide water in the county? We'll start with you, Mr. Marquez.
Thank you, Becky. First of all, in my opening statement, I was going to say, and I was going to thank our opponents for keeping this race so professional and without any harassment. But I do have to say, and I do have to apologize to our judge that I did not make that statement. I think there was an impersonator that did that. Now, going back to answering your question, as far as the county, as far as what I understand, as a county judge, we may not have the responsibility that people may think. Now, as I've always answered it in my prior forums, that we do have the influence, though. We do have the influence with other candidates, with other men and women that have been elected to work together and find a solution for this water issue that we do have in Midland County, especially in Greenwood South and southwest of Midland County, Becky. So we may not have the direct responsibility, but through influence, I bet we can help, though.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hood.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. The water issue in Greenwood is tragic. What it's doing to the people out there, it's making them sick, it's bleaching out their clothes, it's their children are being burned. It's a very severe situation. I've been told the county's not in the water business, but I'm going to agree with Mr. Marquez because that is exactly what I feel like. We may not be in the water business, but we have the influence, and we need to be going to the state and seeing what the state can do for us in our water issues and help those people and not turn them away and say we're not in the water business, because we, Midland County, I still consider myself a part of Midland County, have spent $31.5 million donated or given to MCUD. So if we're not in the water business, I don't know why we're giving them that money.
Thank you, Ms. Hood. Judge Johnson.
Okay. I lived out of Greenwood for 15 years. I lived on a half-gallon-minute water well. It's a tough way to live. My property values weren't worth what the properties up on 307 were worth because we didn't have water. When I first became county judge, within my first year, we convened everybody from the city to MCUD to county, and we tried to see what could we do. And from then until now, we've taken one step forward and two steps back. There's been a lot of work. We've dealt a lot with Washington. We've dealt a lot with Austin, trying to get something going. We finally got MCUD up and running, and we've given them $27.5 million is what we've given them over 3 years. They're up and running. They're now getting started. We hope they're going to need a bond. They have to have money to do what they're going to do. So the solution to water in Greenwood, anywhere in Midland County, is going to be MCUD. So I would encourage everybody to support that effort.
Great. Still on water, even though it is the Midland County Utility District, not the county, which is obligated to provide water in the county, does the Commissioner's Court have a responsibility to build infrastructure for water in the county? And if so, how do you plan to approach this? We'll start with you, Mrs. Wood. Ms. Hood, sorry.
Yeah. Can you just repeat that real quick?
Sure. Even though the Midland County Utility District, not the county, is obliged or obligated to provide water in the county, does the Commissioner's Court have a responsibility to build infrastructure for water in the county? And if so, how do you plan to approach this?
Well, yes, I believe we are responsible for that infrastructure because they are in the county. They do pay county taxes, and I believe the county has that responsibility. We can't deliver the water to them, but we can work on the infrastructure. And there's different ways to go about getting that paid for. There's assistance from the state that we can use partially for that. There's also a tax that can be taxed in that area on a short-term period to be able to pay for that, but there's ways about doing it.
Okay. Mr. Johnson.
I'm on the opposite spectrum. No, it's not our responsibility. MCUD's in place. By state law, they are the ones to do that. So it's not up to us to do it in that we can't do it. We can't support MCUD, and we have done that with this first infusion of cash we gave them so that they could secure the lease for the water rights that they have, so they could drill and develop the field that they have and get their first wells going and get water and infrastructure ran to our jail that's in process. Also, now they've been able to, because of the amount of water they're going to produce daily and be able to treat, there's enough water available that Greenwood School, the new school being built, has paid the $2 million to run that infrastructure to our jail so they can have water, and MCUD will be able to furnish them water. So this thing is up and running and it's off the ground, and our job is to support them, not get in the middle of it.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Marquez.
Pat, thank you for that question. I, too, am from Greenwood, and we've been living there, golly, a long time. All my children have graduated from there. They serve there. We serve there as well. Midland County Utility District, it's a taxing entity. It is. And so one of the things that I want to explain that no one is explaining to us is that, let's go back to the question, is the Commissioner's Court responsible for building the infrastructure? No, it's not, right? We've already established that. But through influence, we can, and we will. But here's the problem, okay, that no one is talking about is that if you can think of having a glass of water, okay, and dipping a bunch of straws to take water from that same glass into the same neighborhood, it's going to eventually run out, and it's going to eventually run out quicker. And I don't understand what a bond, okay, what a bond will do any different to run empty pipes to these people that are already suffering, okay, to supply first. And I have been, I've done over 10 years of prison ministry, so I am all about inmates and preparing instead of repairing, okay? But what we have to understand is that we have to get more water from somewhere else, not from the same spot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Marquez. In February of 2024, the Commissioners Court voted to issue certificates of obligation for $170 million to construct a new jail in East Midland County. The method of financing the new jail is different from traditional general obligation bonds in that they do not require voter approval, only that of a majority of commissioners. What is your opinion of this method of financing the new jail, Judge Johnson?
Well, since I was a part of that, and it was a vote of 5-0. And if you'd have been there, if anybody's listened to it, go back and watch it on the archives, go back and read the minutes. We had Texas Department of Corrections came down, they totally inventoried in the entirety of Midland, from how many people are in college, how many bars do we have, how many shopping centers. It was amazing the amount of information they came up with. And they came up with a recommendation of what we needed to do. And we were way under the recommendation. Their minimum recommendation was for an 800-bed facility. We only had a 5, and it was maxing out every day. So it was time to act, and act quick. These are big projects, and they have to be done. We didn't raise your taxes to do it. In fact, we've lowered your taxes a little bit, but we did this in a way that made good business sense. I'll get into that later if there's another question.
All right, thanks. Mr. Marquez?
Well, we'll end up paying $245 million for this certificate of obligation. My belief is no major debt without voter approval, independent financial analysis before large projects, and phase or pay as you go in construction when possible. Okay, what I kind of don't understand also, I understand part of it. I don't the full. When 480 average inmates that we have in the old jail. Now we bumped it up to almost 800 beds, okay? Again, I said earlier, I do have a lot of experience with volunteer prison ministry, and I understand how much it costs to house one of those inmates. And so, again, if we're not going to the constituents, I have to say that we may be hiding something. And so that is not the way to go as far as me conducting myself in our tax and your taxes that way. We need to go back. We need to go back to the constituents if it's something that huge.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Hood.
These bonds were meant for counties to use during emergencies, and they are being abused all across the state of Texas. And I believe that we are playing a part in that as well. I support law enforcement 100%, and we've always given them what they need. But I'm just talking about the process that we went through to do it. And we're also using those bonds to do some things that are not requirements of county government. I call them pet projects, and I don't believe that that's what the money is there for. Later, I can show some graphs and charts about how much debt we're in right now from where we came from, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The general fund projects an excess of $24 million this year. So we have that excess money that we get to keep.
Thank you. Regardless of how you feel about the financing of the new jail, do you support its construction? Why or why not? And to start, we'll start with you, Mr. Marquez.
I would almost have to support a construction. How we went about it and where it is, I am not completely in support. Again, I feel that no one asked our constituents how much to spend and basically where it was. I understand that land was donated, and $5 million of that was a loan out of the $31,500,000. We understand that, but I will always be for a growth in our community. Now, a jail, you're looking at maybe less than 2 miles. We have a brand new school being built. That's to be frowned upon. Where is the best place to build a jail? I don't know if there's a best place, but certainly we as constituents were not asked. And I believe that is the big issue here, Pat.
Okay. Ms. Hood.
I have to agree with Jay somewhat. I think a lot of this is done with no transparency, and yes, it passed into Commissioner's Court, but it did not pass a vote from the people because it was never put up in front of them. The location where this is in the area in Greenwood where we have severe water, so I have a hard time for us taking on a project like that where there's water issues in the area, but they are being provided water for the jail, but we're turning our nose up at the people in Greenwood and surrounding areas, and that I have a problem with, but never have a problem with law enforcement.
Okay. And Mr. Johnson.
Okay, as far as the location of the jail, right now it's in a residential lot, and we're landlocked. We can't go any way northeast, southwest. It can't happen. We're 4 blocks from a school where we're at now. So I appreciate, I get the concern of the folks out there, but might want to talk about to the people that are around the jail right now. As far as we keep going back to the CO, we were elected as a body to make decisions, and we make decisions every year on about $250 million, and we don't go out for a vote on everything we do, and we make large decisions. So I think we made the best decisions. It was done above board, out in the open. There is no hanky-panky. Nobody's getting anything under the table. This thing was done. You can go back and watch it. You can go back and read the minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Midland County currently has in reserve more than $100 million, which amounts to nearly 9 months of expenses. The Government Finance Officers Association recommends keeping at least 2 months of expenses. Should the county keep this large reserve? Why or why not? Ms. Hood.
Well, we live in West Texas, and we live in oil country, and we have highs and we've had lows, and it's good to prepare for those times because it's not if they're coming, they're coming. I mean, that's just a cycle of the oil field. So I know we draw a lot out of those reserves outside of our budget, quite a bit, millions out of there for items that are not in the budget. And so I don't know. I don't know of anybody, and that doesn't mean that we couldn't do it, but the only time I've ever seen us give money to anybody is when we've given it to other entities in town in big lumps like that. So I don't know if that's a possibility. I don't know what the legalities of it are. And, you know, like I said, we need to be prepared to have to use that money in downtimes.
Judge Johnson.
Okay. Our income's derived from two major sources. It's property taxes and sales taxes. And in this area, sales taxes fluctuate drastically. I think the $100 million you're referencing, imagine getting your paycheck, all 12 paychecks in January. And that's essentially what we do. When we're collecting property taxes, we're getting the bulk of that money at the very beginning of the year. But there's big chunks coming out every month. You will see that thing be drawn down lower and lower as we get closer to the end of September. When I'm calculating budget, we try to calculate roughly $50 million in fund balance. That gives us roughly 6 months of our M&O, maintenance and operation expense. That's just the way the county's always done it. I continued that process when I started, and that's kind of how that number is.
I do believe in rainy day funds for our any organization, corporation, business, or nonprofit, whatever and wherever you may be, government or not. I am for it. The good thing that we have is projections and knowing and understanding. I mean, 124 million barrels that we produce just here in Texas, and going back to '83 when I was just a kid and seeing the booms and seeing the highs and the lows. That gives us a really good idea of how to build and to save for the future and what not to spend and when to get in debt and when not to, and keep a good 6-9 months. I'm all for that. I mean that I believe that we have done that, but again, to go in debt just because we have it, that's again it's something else that we need to look at, and especially not going out to the constituents and asking for their vote.
Okay. If elected county judge, your boss is the electorate, which means to a large extent you're responsible for the hours you keep. Now, given that this is a position with a salary of over $125,000 a year, which is different from city council and school board members who receive token stipends, would you approach this as a full-time job, keeping regular office hours, or do you have other business obligations to manage as well? We'll start with you, Mr. Johnson.
Okay. I do treat it as a job. It is a job. I get comments a lot that my predecessor's car was never in his parking spot and mine's there a lot. I don't treat it 8 to 5 because I have a few things to do running around, checking on things as far as in the county, running by our different facilities, visiting with different department heads, if you will. But generally I'm there by 8:30 in the morning and I'm there till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I wind up my afternoon going around and doing other stuff. So it is a full-time job. My job is in Midland, Texas. It's not in Austin. I can deal with Austin over the phone or over the internet. It's not in Washington. My predecessor spent many tens of thousands of dollars traveling to those two places. That's one way to deal with this job, but it's Midland County judge, and I've always looked at it as my job's here in Midland, so I treat it that way.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Marquez.
Pat, I'm going to have to sound a little arrogant and sarcastic in answering this question. I do manage several businesses, okay, but I do feel that since a young boy, the good Lord gave me administration skills and time management skills to be able to manage in a very efficient and effective way, okay? And so I have already planned that. You're going to see me there for sure at least 24 hours, and that's going to be from 7 in the morning. I've already kind of made a schedule of when I need to be in my office and in this office, and with help from assistants, of course. I tell you, I will not miss a beat, and that I can assure you. And the people that know me, they will have to testify, because I can do so much with so little. And I mean that is an assurance to Midland County. And again, this is our job, Midland County.
Thank you, Mrs. Hood.
Yes, sir. I will treat it as a full-time job, just as I did with the tax office job. It's an honor to be able to serve our community in this capacity, and I'm looking forward to be able to do that. And yes, it will be full-time.
Thank you. We need to take a short station break, but when we come back in about 2 minutes, we'll continue our debate with the Midland County Judge.
Your vote matters. Do you know the candidates running for Ector County Judge? Hear from them directly at the Basin PBS Live Debate, Thursday, February 12th at 7 p.m. Join us in the studio audience or watch from home. Submit your questions on the Basin PBS Facebook page before or during the debate. We'll ask as many as we are able. Studio doors open from 6 to 6:30 p.m. Seating is limited. No late arrivals. The Ector County Judge Debate is presented by Diamondback Energy. Global oil decisions don't stay global for long. This episode of One Question explores how oil production and policy in Venezuela affects supply, demand, and economic realities in West Texas. Expert insight connects international forces to local impact. One Question, when global oil hits home. Thursday, February 12th at 8 p.m. on Basin PBS. Made possible with support from the Permian Basin Area Foundation. Your county, your vote, your future. Join Basin PBS for the Midland County Commissioner Candidate Forum, live Monday, February 16th at 7 p.m. County Commissioner candidates will address the issues impacting Midland County. Moderated by Becky Ferguson and Pat Canty. Watch on Basin PBS or stream on Facebook or YouTube. Questions? Ask them on the Basin PBS Facebook page. We will welcome a small studio audience. Doors open 6 to 6:30 p.m. Limited seating, no late arrivals. Made possible with support from Diamondback Energy.
I'm Albert Hall.
And I'm Purvis Evans.
Join us for Faith and Family,
A special night of music celebrating connection, reflection, and the moments that bring us together.
recorded right here at Basin PBS.
And airing Thursday, February 19th at 7 p.m.
Only at Basin PBS.
This program was sponsored by Roy Nelson and State Farm.
Welcome back. We're coming to you live from Basin PBS in the Anwar Family Studio. Now, I'd like to remind our candidates that the rules, as mentioned at the beginning of our program, still apply.
All right, next question. The Commissioners Court operates under a set of rules of conduct adopted more than 25 years ago and reaffirmed under current leadership. The rules require such thing as silencing of phones, time limits for speaking before the court, as well as rules for conduct, which gives the judge the authority to instruct the bailiff to remove a disruptive person after one warning. The standards prohibit disruptions, name-calling, derogatory statements, personal attacks, or inappropriate language or gestures and interruptions. Do you agree with this policy? Why or why not? Mr. Marquez.
Becky, I believe in respect. I do believe in I don't think the entirety of the policy is to just remove people, but to remove people if they have been asked several times to be respectful. I believe in the time, and I also believe that the commissioners have the responsibility, the privilege actually of allotting more time if needed over than the 2 or 3 minutes that has been allotted. So we have to agree that there needs to be leadership and there needs to be rules and guidelines. And that, yes, I agree. But also I do agree with working with our constituents to a certain point to where it's not going to be disrespectful. And that is what I agree. And that's, I will run my business and anything that I will run that way with respect first and foremost, but I also not only command but demand.
As a whole, yes, I agree with those. What I don't agree with is kicking people out of court when you already have preconceived ideas in your head before they even get there, and to be able to listen to them. I think that is a lack of communication skills from the bench that's not able to handle that because we answer to the people that we serve. And if we're not willing to listen to them, we're not doing our job right. And we also, it's not just with citizens coming to Commissioners Court, it's censoring of other elected officials or attempts of censoring other elected officials, it's censoring department heads. You can't build anything good with that type of leadership.
Judge Johnson.
Okay. To start with, Commissioners Court, we are a board of directors for a business. I'm going to keep going back to a business. We are a business. That's what we're up there to do. We deal with the financial part of this big business. That is a business meeting. It's not a town hall meeting. It's not where we're there to scream and yell at each other back and forth. We have rules in place. We'd love to hear from you. We ask you to abide by those rules. We don't have time for name calling. We don't deserve name calling. We're doing the best we can with the information we have. And as people of this community, we're trying to do what's right for this community. So yelling, screaming, throwing a fit, some of the stuff you've seen going on lately, I'm sure that's what this is about. We can't have that. That's for some other format, but it's not for Commissioners Court.
Pat.
We're living in a time when public figures routinely vilify those who disagree with them, even calling them derogatory names. What is your personal code of conduct when dealing with fellow elected officials, employees, and members of the public? We'll start with you, Mrs. Hood.
It's the same way I treat people outside of government. Respectful, with a listening ear, looking for compromise in issues that we have. I forgot what I was saying.
Okay. We'll move on to you, Mr. Johnson.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. We're living in a time right now when public figures, regardless of the party, routinely vilify those who disagree with them, even calling them derogatory names. What is your personal code of conduct when dealing with fellow elected officials, employees, and members of the public?
Okay. I'll use the budget process as how to answer this. I do a lot of listening. My job's not to determine what they need, or you don't need this rifle, you need this rifle, you don't need this car, you need this car. My job is to listen to them and see what they need. That's the only way I can do the budget process the way it's intended to be. Now, once I've got all that information, we'll figure out how much money there is to divvy up. But I do listen. We've got some really good department heads, and those that came from the private sector, we have a communication style that just clicks and works, and I'm good with those folks. If you take entrenched government people, they're good people, don't get me wrong, but they have a different way of communicating. So we have, through the 7 years I've been in office, we've learned how to communicate there also. I'm kind of no nonsense. That's the way I've learned. That's how I've gotten through my life, and so I'm no nonsense when it comes to running the business of Midland County.
Thank you. Mr. Marquez.
Pat, I have developed young men and young women for almost 30 years, and so I believe in discipline. I believe in the golden rule, to treat others as you would like to be treated, and that is whether you're the CEO, the CFO, or if you're the janitor. You treat the janitor, the secretary the same way, with respect. And again, not only do you command, but you demand, but command respect back and forth. And so when you show that, first and foremost, especially if you are the CEO, they are going to follow. So I am against bickering and yelling at each other and treating each other like I don't know what, but we're human beings. Let's listen to each other. Let's understand. And again, let's try to understand instead of being understood is one of my golden rules. And so I believe in that. I have lived it. I have trained it. And so right on dot with that right there. Respect others as you want them to respect you.
Thank you. Last summer, the Commissioners Court approved the preliminary phases and the design firm for a 27-hole golf course in East Midland County near what will be the new jail. The Commissioners will have opportunities for final approval in the months ahead. What is your position on constructing a county golf course? We'll start with you, Judge Johnson.
My thoughts on construction is it won't happen as long as we don't have water, so it's way down the road. Water's probably 5 years down the road, so that decision will be made long after I'm gone, I'm sure. So I don't think it's a possibility. I really don't.
Mr. Marquez.
Again, I believe in growth. I do believe in beautifying, our county. I have been involved, and our groups have been involved in Keep Midland Beautiful so long that we have gotten so many awards. So I believe in beautifying and growth in our county. I do believe that we do need a golf course, maybe even two. Now, I don't believe in putting ourselves in debt for those. We need to be the CEOs and the CFOs of this county and figure out how to build it without the taxpayer paying the majority of the bulk of it. But I do believe that we do, especially after losing, one of our choice golf clubs here, and I'm not a golfer. And so, but yes, I do believe in expansion. I do believe in growth, but I also believe in trying to figure out how to do this without, again, draining water from our constituents, true that, but also draining their pocketbooks, from raising taxes.
Ms. Hood?
I'm not opposed to golf courses. I'm opposed to a county government building a golf course. And again, it was potentially planned by the new jail in that area where the golf course would be there. Again, there's water issues there. We have already spent over $40,000 on a feasibility study that was done there. And I'm going to read you a quote. It's not my quote. It's a quote in the media. Well, I'm not sure I can find it, but Terry Johnson did say that he had to raise, and I don't know if this was before or after they voted on the tax rate, but he said he had to raise the tax just a little bit for the golf, and that's for, they already vetted an engineer to design it, and it was going to be.
Okay, your time is up.
Respond to that.
Yes, you do, 30 seconds.
Okay. If the feasibility study was just to see how many holes
A
Midland,
$40,000 one.
and we wouldn't have raised taxes for $40,000, wouldn't have happened. Drop in the bucket when you're talking $250 million. We didn't raise taxes to do that. Feasibility study was just to determine how many holes might be needed in this area, and it served its purpose. We know there's a golf course needed, 2 of them. Okay.
Thank you.
Can I
Thank you,
respond?
sir.
No,
No.
Okay.
no rebuttals.
No.
Thank you.
Though the Texas Constitution does not require county judges to be licensed attorneys, the law does stipulate that a county judge, and I'll quote, shall be well informed in the law of the state. Please talk about how you would go about meeting that legal obligation. And we'll start with you, Mr. Marquez.
Pat, I'm glad you asked that because we were just talking about that this week over lunch, and that is there are classes that we must take, and so that the simple answer here is to stay updated through these classes that the state has to offer for us, and stay in compliance with anything and everything that we can possibly stay in compliance with. And so I love education, I love information. And so that's what I would do. And matter of fact, we're already looking into it. Like I said, we just had a lunch meeting over that. And matter of fact, I was actually going to pay for it out of my own pocket, so I could be ready, January 1st instead of waiting till afterwards.
Thank you. Okay, Mrs. Hood.
Yes, we are required every year to earn continuing credit hours to be accredited as a county judge. There's an association called Texas Association of Counties who offers bukus of classes for all kinds of elected officials, and which also includes legislative updates on that. I think it's important to continue to monitor, especially Austin, for legislation that's trying to be passed and working for the benefit of our county. That's one place that I believe we can get help with our water. So I think it's important to have those connections.
Thank you. And Mr. Johnson.
Okay, and she mentioned Texas Associated Counties. It's a great organization. They send out regular updates that I read on a regular basis. Not only that, but staying in touch with our congressman, our state senator. They've got updates. They have stuff they send out all the time. You can also visit with them when we're in the legislative years and see what legislation's passed and what's going to affect us, what's not going to affect us. It's just having that camaraderie with everybody in the business. I stay in touch with a lot of county judges. What one county judge knows, maybe the rest of us don't. We're able to share that information. Permian Basin Regional Planning Commission, we get together once a month. There's 17 county judges there. That's the most richest place you can go to learn and keep up with what's going on. So it's just doing things like that that keep us up on what's going on. And then the classes, we're required to get 16 hours a year of extra training. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. One of the obligations of the county judge is emergency management. The law grants county judges the power to declare disasters, mandate evacuations, set curfews, and manage resources during floods, fires, and pandemics. Talk about how you would approach disaster declarations, who you would involve, how you would determine the need for setting curfews and managing resources. Mr. Marquez.
In the last forum, Becky, I shared that the Lord has just blessed me with a group of men that are 12 and 15 years older than I am, where I have drawn wisdom. I don't know that has helped. Please don't hold that against me. But nevertheless, first and foremost, the Commissioner's Court is there for a reason. These people that I have surrounded myself are there for a reason. I do not have any issue and any problem in making a decision and making it quickly, and especially if it's going to affect 170,000 constituents here in Midland County. And so, yes, the first thing that I would do, I would pick up the phone if that's what I need to do, or go to the Commissioner's Court first and foremost. Then these people that I have trusted with my life and with my family's lives. And then we would proceed and build a map and make decisions as quickly as possible, again, efficiently, effective, and that which is going to affect in a good way our entire county, and not just some. That is what I would do.
Mrs. Hood.
There is a coalition, a group of, Red Cross and other people who, I can't remember what the group was because I'm just learning about this part. I haven't been in office for 7 years, so there's still going to be a lot of things to learn, but there is a coalition that of different agencies that they don't make a move until the county judge says so during those. So it would be, you have to work closely with those and see what they provide and see what we can do in exchange for them as well. So I think, just fostering those relationships and being prepared. I mean, being prepared in procedurally, if we had to evacuate or whatever it is, then I will educate myself on the process.
Judge Johnson.
Okay, I got to deal with the pandemic when I first got on board. And I got thrown in the fire instantly. Midland's big enough we have an emergency manager that we hire. It is my responsibility, and he's an extension of me. Justin Bunch, he's probably one of the finest in the state. He's done a lot of good stuff. But with COVID, when it came in, and our very first deal was we need to give it 2 weeks so the curve can flatten out, and then the next time is giving it 2 more weeks. Behind the scenes, we were having meetings. We were being told to buy 20,000 body bags. We were being told to rent 6 refrigerated reefers. We were looking at and preparing for an unbelievable catastrophic event here in Midland. Thank God it did not happen. But I've been through it. I've seen what's happened. We went through Kerrville, the flood. Justin was involved in it down there. I know what he went through with it. Being emergency manager is a big responsibility, but it's a greater responsibility to see what's going on.
One of the most sensitive legal duties of a county judge is presiding over mental health hearings. Under the Texas Health and Safety Code, they have the authority to order emergency detention of court-ordered mental health services. So how would you go about weighing your legal obligation to protect an individual and the community against removing an individual's liberty? We'll start with you, Mrs. Hood.
I'm not sure that the county judge does those services or not. We have mental health in one of the departments that we have, and they handle those.
Okay. Okay. Go on to the next question then. If that's...
Certainly, we'll go on to the next question. All right. The Good Roads movement of the late 1800s first called for Texas officials' obligation of getting the farmer out of the mud. That ushered in the Texas Special Road Law, giving county commissioners authority and responsibility for roads outside of the city but inside the county. How would you go about helping the commissioners meet that obligation? We'll start with you, Judge Johnson.
Okay, we are tasked with constructing and maintaining a road system in the county. And Midland County has about 440 miles of roads that we maintain, and we're adding to that inventory every year. Prior to me taking office, for 20 years prior to me, $40 million had been spent on roads. My first year I budgeted $50 million, my second year 50, my third year 50, and my fourth year we budgeted $38 million. We're surpassing $200 million. In Precinct 3, for the 12 years prior to me getting there, no money had been spent in that precinct on the road, not one red penny. In 6 years, my first 6 years, we spent $35 million. That's how I've helped construct roads in Midland County.
The first thing that I am going to do is I am going to get together with our Commissioners Court at Road and Bridge together and figure out a plan, a map, how we can continually stay on top of all these roads. Like I said, I've lived in Greenville for a long time. I know the South Side very well because of the organization that I've run for almost 25 years. And so I know these roads like the back of my hand. And so I would want to sit down with the Road and Bridge and also with the Commissioners Court and to see what is the best plan that we have and that we can put in action. And if we have to bring in third party for our roads to be reconstructed or reconstructed. And so that is probably one of the things that I am going to do, whether it be to rebuild our road and bridge and have them be responsible and accountable and report back to the Commissioners Court jointly together, okay, with the commissioners and especially from each precinct. And so that is why it's so important for us to pick the right commission as well for that precinct so they can work with us.
Thank you. Mrs. Hood?
Yes, I believe the Commissioners Court has done very well in maintaining the roads and the money that we're spending on them. And like you said, we have a road and bridge department that are trained to do such things, and I'm not sure anymore if we use third-party vendors or not to do that. But my deal would be I would educate myself on what the process is of doing the roads, and obviously go out more in the community, out in the county, and look at the roads, and because I know there's a lot that still have not been fixed. I mean, we cannot probably ever reach 100% that are, everything's good. You know how it's been around Midland for the last several years, and that'll probably continue to be the case.
Thank you.
It's now time for our closing statements. Each candidate will have 2 minutes for their closing statement. We'll start with you, Mr. Marquez.
Well, again, thank you to PBS. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Pat, for allowing us for this special time and the kindness that you guys have showed all of us. Diamondback, thank you for endorsing and supporting this great organization here. And again, I do want to say thank you to the candidates for keeping it in a very, very professional manner. I go back and I do want to remind our constituents that infrastructure that actually works is one of my issues. Fiscally responsibility and respect for taxpayers is another issue that I have. As supporting Midland's oil and gas industry, keeping Midland County secure and sovereign, a zero-tolerance leadership approach to crime, very pro-law enforcement as I say that, okay? And so with that said, let me tell you that whether you are a constituent or employee, my door will continue to remain open to Midlanders. It is important that we build a strong team. Together is how we restore trust in our county government. Again, thank you for your kindness. I am Jay Marquez, and I would be honored to earn your vote and your prayers as I seek to serve you as your next Midland County judge. Bless you, and God bless Midland County.
Thank you. Mrs. Wood.
Hood.
Can you repeat the question? If that's okay, we'll get it. Could you repeat the question, please, ma'am? Or
Yes,
sir?
just your closing statement.
Just a
2
closing
minutes.
statement. Okay. Obviously, from some of the things that I've talked about tonight, I'm very concerned about the debt that we have consumed. I mean, we're sitting at $250 million in debt, and that has, if you'll look at some of these graphs of what we've done over the year, and this is where we are now. I mean, that's a huge, huge jump, and that's all without taxpayer voting, having a word in it. And so that's something that I'm going to really keep an eye on. I'm going to be respectful for whatever debt we have and not cause our community to have to pay more. So my focus is on leadership as well in Midland County and in the court. I want to bring honor to the court. I want to use my leadership skills to build teams, to build you need your teams to work forward. Being a county judge, you are not the boss. You're not the boss of anything, except for you're our boss. And it's like any other elected position. I mean, it does have more responsibilities to being the Midland County judge. But you know, I have fostered relationships in the county with department heads and elected officials already. So I think it's going to be really nice just to step in and rebuild those relationships and build them on positive ground.
Thank you, Ms. Hood. Mr. Johnson.
Okay. This election boils down to experience, direction and results, a solid track record, responsible, diligent, deliberate budgeting, and saying yes to Midland, the Midland that I love. You may not like to hear what I have to say, but I'll always tell you the truth. In this pioneering community, a man's words is bond. You have my word that I'll continue down this positive path. Talked a little bit about roads. I'll move on to one of the main things I'm very proud of is I ran on and was able to accomplish bringing the horseshoe back under the control of the taxpayer and getting it out of a third party and all the millions that were going out the back door of it. Law enforcement was also the other leg to my tripod that I ran on. And I want to take a second to say, when I started, a patrol deputy made $36,000 a year. They now make $80,000. It's not that we overpay them. What we finally have done is we pay them what everybody else around us pays them. So when they do come out of a law enforcement academy, they are able to decide which uniform to wear. It's not based on money. It's which unit they want to go to. We've gotten them a new law enforcement office. We've pretty much let them rig up the way. I'm going to take one quick second. Back when we had the riots a long time ago where they were burning down cities in the north, we were going to have a riot here. And I went out to where they were all staged, and our guys had nothing but their sidearms and their vehicles. Yet all the other law enforcement officers in the area, from Lubbock to San Angelo to Ector County, they had all the riot gear. They had the big armored vehicles. They had everything. Our guys had Tahoes and their sidearms. Our guys now rival what any of these other units have. I've done that for them. I will continue to do it. I don't just say I support law enforcement. I have put taxpayer money where my mouth is. Law enforcement is in good shape right now. You're safe in Midland.
Thank you very much. With that, we conclude tonight's debate. I'd like to thank all of our candidates for participating in this year's Midland County Judge Debate. Make sure to join us on Thursday, February 12th, starting at 7 p.m. for the Ector County Judge Debate. Immediately following our Ector County Judge Debate is our special One Question with Becky Ferguson, When Global Oil Hits Home, which begins at 8 p.m. We urge all registered voters to cast your ballots. Early voting begins on Thursday, February 17th, and will continue until Friday, February 27th, with voting on Tuesday, March 3rd. Please check the voting office for polling stations and hours of operation. We'd also like to thank the Diamondback Energy Group for generously sponsoring tonight's program. We'd also like to thank the Elizabeth Yeager family and the Anwar family for their continued support of Basin PBS. Folks, programs like this are possible because of you, our members and viewers. Now, if you're not a member and would like to become one, please visit basinpbs.org for details. There's another way you can support us. May 28th, we're having our annual Main Street Live event featuring Travis Tritt. So if you're interested, come on out. We would love to have you. Now, I'm Pat Canty. On behalf of our staff, our hardworking volunteers, and our board, thank you to you for attending tonight. Thank you to our co-moderator, Becky Ferguson. Good night.
Even as outsiders in their own country, Black and Jewish people reshaped almost every corner of American popular culture in the first half of the 20th century.
A white Jewish producer and the greatest black jazz singer of all time working together to produce art.
They worked together in clubs and studios.
Black culture couldn't always make you hip by association.
On stage and screen, and on the playing field.
The Jews made the movies and made Israel in California, and it's called Hollywood.
By the 1930s, the rise of fascism in Europe